Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Immigrable Podcast. My name is Nick Terrazio, your host. I'm joined by my faithful co-host, Eric Indell. Hey, Eric. And
Hello.
We have none other than my favorite podcast guest of all time. It is Mandy Roman, a.k.a. Geeky, Glamorous. Hey, Mandy, how you doing?
Hey, Nick. Hey, Eric. I'm very happy to be here and happy to be reunited with you guys. It's going to be a fun day.
I know, right? Sure. This is like the old Game Talk Live crew. And here we are on the airwaves again. Well, we have a fun episode for you guys. And if you haven't noticed, we have a completely new overlay. We got a new logo because we just turned 29. That's what happens when you go on episode 29. You have to do a complete visual rehaul. I don't make the podcast laws. They just send them to me in an email, and I have to follow them. So it's been a crazy, crazy day in esports news. But before all of that, let's talk about the games we play and the games we have been interested in. So I guess I'll start, right? I have been most excited about a game called Mortal Shell. Now, I just want to say right now, I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. I downloaded it today, and I've been watching footage of this game. I've been watching people play this game. Shout-outs to Caleb Hart. He's been having a hilarious stream. But, like, Mortal Shell is essentially like a Dark Souls reimagining. The team that made it are, like, huge Dark Souls fans. And I'm just so in love with the aesthetic. And it just seems like the gameplay is really great. Eric, have you heard of this game?
Yeah, I actually played the demo when it was live on Epic Game Store because I think they have PC exclusivity for like a year or something. Yeah. I mean, at this point, what don't they? But yeah, it's super cool. The demo was really good. I'm playing through Dark Souls 3 again actually right now, so it was nice to have like a side-by-side comparison with what they're going for. What do you think?
Well, it's actually funny that you say you're playing through Dark Souls 3. By the way, Mandy, have you ever played a Dark Souls game?
No.
Okay.
I do not have the patience to deal with that nonsense. That is too stressful, especially during 2020. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah,
so
I got that.
So that is precisely how a lot of my friends feel. I feel like in my friend group, I'm the only like Dark Souls player because there's that like masochistic side of it. But this is why maybe I suggest you can try out a Mortal Shell, because I feel like Mortal Shell is like a playable video game version of Dark Souls, right? It's like all of the good stuff, but they said, you know what? Maybe we should make it so if you die, it's not this immediate horrible thing, and it's so much more forgiving. And to me, now that I'm officially a video game boomer, I'm excited about that. So that's what I've been playing.
Video game boomer?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, so, Mandy, we may have not been on the air for a while together, but yes, I'm 100% a boomer now. Gone are the days in which I was relevant, or all of the games that I knew about are popular. Heroes of the Storm is dead. Actually, no, it's coming back. But yeah, I am.
Actually, I can believe that, because I feel like every time you and I have a conversation, whether it's on a podcast or in person, you're talking about Smash Bros.
Yes. Yep. I still
or Hot.
Yeah.
Either one or the other.
All I do
every episode of the podcast.
I do is play Melee. So it's actually when I wrote in the show notes that yes, I'm actually trying to play a new game.
Yeah.
Eric was quite surprised. He's like, "Whoa, what?"
I have a template where I like switch out like games that I've been playing, and I've just stuck with the template that says that Nick's been playing Melee and HOTS. Like I don't change it anymore. I put like question marks because he just fills it in. He'll either put like in all caps or like really tiny or something. I'm like,
you're gonna play this new title for maybe like a day, and you're like, time for some Smash.
Well, you know what? I feel as if like we probably all have those type of games, right? Like the fallback games, like the games that are like a comfort food, like
Overwatch is still my fallback.
Yeah, that's your comfort food. I know what's that one game? It's not Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, right? Yeah. There was a while where that was my comfort food game. I would just go back and go to Stardew Valley, so
I like that comfort food game. That's sweet.
Well, because, in these trying times, sometimes it's good to just, actually, so before we were on air, I was talking to Mandy about WoW Classic and kind of how that's going on. But for me, like, WoW Classic is 100% comfort food. Like, half the time.
Classic specifically?
Yes.
Not,
WoW,
okay.
WoW Classic. When I play that game, it's like I'm not even thinking. I watch movies while playing that game. You know, like it's just so autopilot. Anyways, Eric, what games have you been playing?
Yeah, I just wanted one more thing about Mortal Shell, because I did try that demo,
of course.
and I still haven't picked it up yet because just some of the stuff that I've seen so far. Like I've been seeing the good reviews come out, obviously, but there's like a couple parts that I'm like, I don't know. I'll probably wait for it to go on sale. Like the fact that you have to like farm mushrooms, kind of like Bloodborne style with like the blood vials and stuff. I'm like, that was like the worst part of Bloodborne's for me, because it just like automatically kind of like incentivizes like or decentive whatever.
It's one of
for
those.
Like
one of
for
those
new
words.
players it sucks when you keep on getting like defeated by bosses, and like the only way to like get all these health items back is to grind out like areas that you've already done and stuff. That's why I like Dark Souls 3 more, because you just come back with all your Estus flasks and everything. So
I'm curious, what is the grindiest game you guys have ever like enjoyed? You know, because for me, I feel like I've always been kind of an anti-grind guy. I'm more into just a game that gets me going. But like, have you ever fallen into one of those games?
I mean, you could say any MMO is a grindy game, because that's all it is. You're just trying to grind to get to the level cap and then to have the best gear. I mean, we were talking about Final Fantasy 14 and 11 before we went live as well. I mean, I played 11 for 5 years. Damn. And I grinded the shit out of that game, just trying to get the best possible gear I could have for my character.
I just can't. Oh, sorry.
No, please, Eric. You can't what? Grind?
Oh, I just can't get into MMOs at all. I'm just like, I'm the opposite, player as you, where I just have to constantly be playing something new, something that I can like check off my list and everything like that. So, I guess when it comes to grinding, I guess it's not really the same thing, but I just, I platinumed Ghost of Tsushima the other day. And like, once you beat that game and you kind of get in the mindset of like, oh, I'm going to go and get everything, it does kind of become something where like, I kind of maxed out my like levels and everything like that, and just kind of checking everything off the list. I don't have to do it, and it's like just to get that platinum trophy. So I guess that's the closest thing.
Yeah, the completionist, Eric. You're definitely a completionist when it comes to games. See, Eric has to be careful about what games he starts, because if he likes them like too much, then just forget about it. He's going to have to get everything, and now he's got to
get the trophies.
The trophies.
Yeah. But I feel like I became more of a gamer like Eric once I gave up MMOs, because MMOs are such a time sink and such a grind. And once I was like, all right, I have to close that door at my addictive nature, and like completionist behavior is a deadly combo for MMOs. And so once I started streaming and once I stopped playing MMOs, I played a lot more just single player campaign, getting through just games.
You know what? Speaking of games I've been trying to try, and then afterwards, Mandy, I'm dying to hear what games you've been playing. Have you guys heard of Faster Than Light, FTL?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So apparently this has been like a super great game that everyone knows about, and it's this classic. I've never heard about it. I just downloaded it yesterday. It's amazing. Why didn't anyone tell me about this game? It's like incredible.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into it because I hear the final boss is just absolutely ridiculous trying to beat it.
That's what I want, man.
It's like completely random, like whether or not you do it, which I don't really dig. And I'm super into those roguelike games too.
Yeah. So anyways, I'll be playing Faster Than Light. Mandy, what games have you been playing this month?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so yesterday I just beat Halo Combat Evolved for the first time ever. It took me 19 years, but here we are. It was a slog. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little rough. So your Dark Souls is my Halo, because there were some parts that were very challenging, and not challenging because I don't think they were really intended to be difficult. It's just because that was just the nature of the beast in terms of like what the hardware and what game dev was at that point in time in 2001.
I really felt like that last level or last boss fight or whatever was such like a wet fart in that as like the climax of that game, where you're trying to like toss
Drive?
grenades into vents.
Oh,
Yeah,
in the vents. And none of my grenades would like activate. Like I would
Same.
get them in the vent, and they would nothing would happen.
No idea. I was like, but and then like guys would just keep swarming in. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah,
So,
and then the driving piece at the end when you're like, it's like the pinnacle, you're trying to drive off the ship or whatever. So I got to the very end, it cut away to the cutscene, and then it actually punted me back to the beginning for some reason. I think it just bugged out. So I had to do that again.
So is this level called Maw? Is that the
Yeah,
level?
the Maw is the final mission in Halo.
Wow. So you know what? I have to make a confession. I have to maybe I should redeem a gamer card. I've never played Halo, not a single one.
See, that's where I was. I've been in this
game.
mindset of like trying to just play these games that are part of like the gamer zeitgeist, as I call it. So last year I played through Skyrim for the first time. I had never played any Elder Scrolls game, and so I finally played through the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Fallout. Like I've been playing through all these titles that I never got around to playing because I was addicted to WoW and other MMOs before.
Same here, right? Yeah.
Like I've said before.
That's exactly me too. It's like that's why I didn't play any of these games because I had Raid, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like, what am I gonna do? God, that's so funny to think that. So
we'll see what happens next. I since been streaming the past couple of years, I've been playing a lot more single player, just games. I've been playing Fall Guys because everyone else has been playing Fall Guys too, and it's freaking fun.
I haven't played it yet, but I think I want to. I think I want to because my wife, who is like, so the funniest thing about my wife, she still claims she's not a gamer, but I mean, she just has to stop. She is. Like, we got a Switch, and she didn't think she'd play it. Now she plays it constantly. She's constantly playing Tetris 99. She's constantly playing Animal Crossing. Oh, and my gosh, the SNES emulators.
Yeah.
She's fallen in love with all these little Japanese puzzle games on it. Like, she is like if there's a game that somehow combines puzzles and Animal Crossing, I'll probably just lose her. Like, I will probably lose her into the void. But yeah, I feel as if I too have these big blank spots in my like gamer zeitgeist. I really like that thing. I'd say one of the biggest ones, and it's funny because I work for Inven Global, is League of Legends. I was in that Dota 2 camp. I was in that, like when those games were in competition. So I just have never gotten down to League. But anyways, Fall Guys. I am going to try to play that game because my wife, and that's what I was talking about. She saw that game on like TikTok or something, and she was like all sheepish. She's like, "Hey, what's this game? This looks fun. Like, do we have this game? Can you get this game?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure. We'll play Fall Guys." And I think that's probably why that game is so great. It just seems so simple and easy to get into.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the beauty. I think we're having this moment, especially during, quarantine, this whole pandemic, where Animal Crossing was like the perfect injection of joy and ease, very small learning curve. Anyone can get into it and play it. It was very, wholesome. And I think, that's kind of waning now. And Fall Guys is now kind of coming in and filling that void in a way where it's super goofy and quirky and easy to understand. And anyone can kind of play it. It's very accessible. And I think that's why we're kind of seeing this like crazy success around it as well. It's like just one of those like perfect quarantine games. Is that going to become a term now?
It was really smart for Sony to scoop it up and put it on PlayStation Plus for free too. I'm sure that helped out.
So like what was there like? So was this just like some indie game and then Sony like said, "Oh no, this game looks great," and then they took it? I actually don't know the history or the lore behind.
It's published by Devolver Digital, so they probably had a hand in it too. Just kind of like getting it, into the hands of Sony and being like, "Oh, this could be like a really good idea for you." I mean, it's the same thing that happened with Rocket League. Without that bump that it really needed to like grow out its community and its player base and just kind of get people talking about it. Who knows where it would be today. So
by the way, shout out. Please. No, please.
Oh, I was going to say, and on the note about Rocket League, that's supposed to be free to play here. And it said summer 2020 and it's still not free. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's coming. But it's crazy how much Fall Guys has blown up. I'm not like the biggest Fall Guy fan personally. I just think there's like a lot of too many like random factors in it to like for me to like really like invest like hours and hours. I saw like some of the reviews that are on Steam. People already have like 100 hours in this game. I'm like,
What?
Jesus Christ, people.
I mean, it's grindable though. That's the thing. It's so.
I get, but are you ever really getting like better at it? You know, because there's like,
you just jumped into. You just jumped into a hole that I don't think you know. There are people, the strats and the meta behind Fall Guys. Now, I'm probably biased because I watch Fall Guys via like professional esports pros streams. So naturally, kind of the fun of this hyper competitive mindset is to take a game like Fall Guys and to make it so competitive, right? Like, but it's actually incredible the amount of optimization you can do when you're truly trying to like maximize, like, and there's all these great spots, like, you know that one game where you have to grab each other's tail? There's this one ring, this one path you can take that is just so good. Like, if you can make the jumps, you just do that over and over again. It's so hard to catch your tail. But in order to do it, you have to make a lot of like hard jumps. You have to be very, very careful. You have to. So I actually really love that aspect of it. It's so simple. It allows you to take it seriously or not.
I guess I'm talking more about the like the team games and stuff that are introduced. Yeah. Like such a roll of the dice because it's like, oh, I got Jimmy two fingers over here. He's never held a controller in his life.
Yo,
he's not gonna help me. He's not gonna help me push this ball.
There's a huge piece of just like chance and randomness, which I think is true of any battle royale you play, no matter how much level of skill you need. Like I've been playing a lot of Warzone, like chat mentioned as well, but there's definitely random nature to that too. But with Fall Guys, you don't know if someone's gonna suddenly get shoved into you or bounced into you, or you're gonna hit something because someone else knocked into you. Like there's a definite like, sorry, my camera keeps going blurry. I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. It's okay.
But yes, there is strat, but I'm very curious if Devolver's intention was to make it as competitive and like getting people to think about its strategy.
So, because and you know what? I actually, on that point, and I want to get in that point, but first, we have a special, I guess, ad. Is this an ad? This is our first ad. I guess it is. We have a brief ad break, but it is an ad for something that we've all been working very hard on. So, introducing Inven Global Culture. So, if you see here, Inven Global Culture, it's kind of why we've done this rebrand. This is something that we've been working on for a long time. So, you may know Inven Global as a place that just has esports news, but it's much, much more. And guess what? Your girl Mandy is a part of our content team. So we're going to have Mandy writing about gaming fashion news. She's going to be writing about all sorts of cool stuff. You got me as well. I'm going to be writing about tech hardware, aesthetic hardware, stuff like that. And really, it's just really, really cool. We've actually first already posted an article about Mandy right here. I'm going to put up, look at Mandy in all these awesome Animal Crossing outfits. I love it. So guys, if you are interested in Inven Global content, but maybe one of the more creative or artistic variety, head on over to invenglobal.com/culture. We would really appreciate you take a look at it. Yay. Bam! Now, back to what we're really here to talk about, Fall Guys. All right? We need to talk about how important Fall Guys is.
Yeah, so you were gonna comment. I mean, do you think Devolver's intention was to make it as like strategy driven as it has become?
So personally, I think, and I've been saying this for a while, I think Devolver's is so ahead of the game. When I first saw their absurd, crazy E3 press conference in which they were mocking the whole thing and they were kind of like being this weird, like crazy parody of what those things are, I kind of started paying attention to them because I feel as if they really on the culture and they're on the pulse of like Twitch and gaming culture. So I have a theory, Mandy, that Fall Guys was made to be the ultimate stream game. I mean, the ultimate, I am Shroud, I am Ninja, I'm the biggest streamer in the world, and my main game is Fortnite. But what do I do in between the rounds? What do I do when I need to just relax? I just feel as if everything about Fall Guys, it just rewards funny moments. It just rewards streamers reacting. It's like they made the gameplay so simple that the personalities of streamers, it's just so entertaining. And it's also why, and And one of the show notes and one of the beats we're going to talk about is that Fall Guys has surpassed Fortnite and League of Legends as like the most streamed game on Twitch.
So wild to me.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, so it's like there's definitely something going on here. Eric, what do you think about the Fall Guys reign to power? Like, do you think? I mean, because I think Mandy had a really good question there. Do you think that Devolver Digital like did they know this was going to be like this? Was this their plan? Did they plan on taking over Twitch?
So yeah, the skeptic in me, says like, is this kind of a flash in the pan thing? Is this it for Fall Guys? This is where they're really going to start to plateau, with how far they're, growing and their player base and everything. Because I just think about like, in a month, are people still going to be playing this game? Are they still going to find it funny that their favorite streamer got like knocked out in the first round or whatever? Because I mean, even the couple games that I played, you start seeing those same game modes like over and over again, just kind of get into that loop of it. And then just kind of the idea that like, how are they going to, carry this hype on in like future updates? Is adding like a new map really going to be enough to like A, get people like excited to come back to the game, and B, like make the people that are still playing the game, happy enough to keep playing the game. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just because we've talked about it before, but like Rocket League, is similar situation, but like Rocket League was so simple in its premise that like the game modes that they added and the collaborations that they did, and it had like esports potential to it too. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
And Nick, on your note, I do want to say, I don't think you can't predict explosive success like this. Like I don't think Devolver went out there and was like, we're going to make this game. It's going to take over Twitch. It's going to beat, the League of Legends numbers. Like streamers are going to go wild. I think as a side note, Devolver kind of operates on their own island, and I feel like they don't really pay attention to what a lot of other devs do, and they kind of just operate like, we're just going to make shit that we think is cool, and we're not going to really worry about what other people are doing. If you look at any of their other titles, they don't even showcase on the E3 floor. They always have a space that's off-site. Like, just come hang out with us. Just have a beer in our beer garden and just chill and maybe play some indie games. And like, they're kind of like, we make games, but we sit over here and we're not over there. And I feel like they kind of just wanted to make this quirky, fun thing, and like, they're like, here, hope you like it.
And you know what? I think that is true. I'd say, to me, I just can't help but think though, like, I just think that they're smart. Like, I'd actually go as far to say that Devolver Digital is like very aware that like the future.
Oh, okay.
Of gaming
So I should say it's Mediatonic that's the dev. I just want to make sure, and then Devolver published it. So this was definitely a collaborative effort. Yeah.
Well, great. Just go back in time, and every time we said Devolver Digital made it, just in your brain, be creative. Say that Mediatonic made it. Well, let's go back to say that Devolver Digital, good job for seeing the game for its potential and marketing it so well, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that part of why I love this game is because it seems as if, for every Dark Souls, gamer like me, and for everyone who's excited about a Mortal Shell and stuff, like there is probably 30 more people who have never even like played a video game to the extent that they can call themselves a gamer. And the type of game that's going to kind of convert them into our cult of gamerdom is Fall Guys, right? Like the absolute barest. And it's why I'm excited that like, I think I'm going to make my wife play Fall Guys. I'm going to call her out on her excitement for it because she likes to watch the clips on TikTok because she thinks it's so funny. I'm like, if I just show her how easy it is to play, I think she's going to really love it. Actually...
And I think that's the beauty of it, is that you can literally jump in and immediately understand how to play, and you could do very well on your first go through because you're literally just trying to get from point A to point B. And that's it. Like, the tail grabbing thing, okay, maybe there's just like the grab maneuver is maybe a strat, and maybe kind of knowing where the best place to jump is a strat. But I think at the end of the day, it is so much luck and just random happenstance that you just happen to, make it to the final round.
So chat says we got a message right here from Dreamerm3. Cross-platform will go a long way in giving. Yeah, I actually agree. I think cross-platform is going to be something that makes Fall Guys great. Also, too,
it's not on Xbox though.
Oh, interesting.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
It's on PC, but through like Steam and stuff. But yeah, it's PS4, PC. I'm not even. It might be on Switch. Maybe it's not.
I think this is a
right now.
If it's not, if it's not on Switch, it will be.
No, it's not. It's only PS4 and Steam currently.
Yeah.
I think this will be on Switch though. I call it.
I mean, it's probably part of the deal that they brokered with Sony, to get it on PlayStation Plus and stuff.
They probably have an exclusivity window.
By the way,
and it was a good call on their part for sure.
By the way, speaking of good calls, one of the stories we wanted to highlight is that Fall Guys is having a charity drive in order to try to get certain skins like within the game. So just for some context, you have on Twitter anyone from like G2 to Ninja to pretty much anyone within gaming that wants to be in Fall Guys, because who doesn't? It's like the biggest game right now. The devs just said, listen, whoever raises the most money gets whatever skin they want inside the game. So, and sure enough, it's been a battle of the brands. So I think this is just awesome social media.
What a delightful way to build like hype for the game and build and get some money for charity.
Yeah, the dude that's running the social media account for Fall Guys is doing a killer job.
It's amazing. It's hilarious.
There's another thing with like I think it's in the show notes, but like someone messaged him like get rid of the yellow team, because apparently it's this whole meme in the community that if you're on the yellow team, you're like gonna lose 100%. and they came out as like, actually, I mean, it's just as often that like the other teams lose. It has nothing to do with the color. They're like, yeah, shut up. But like it's
oh no,
it's cool.
I'm having like Team Instinct flashbacks.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah. I was just gonna say, what is with the color yellow? Why is it that the yellow team is always the one that gets bullied? Because
in your eyes, it's a lot of eye strain.
Yeah, and I lost as Team Yellow yesterday in Fall Guys, so.
But they said that if their tweet gets 1 million retweets, that they'll take the yellow team out of the game.
Fall Guys will delete the yellow team.
Okay, so wait, what is this tweet at now? Now I have to click the tweet.
It's pretty good. So say, yo, Alex just said he would delete the yellow team if we can get 1 million retweets. Yeah.
Okay, they only have 202,000. Only. Okay, I say that only, but that's still a lot.
If they get to 1 million, it'll be like the 16th most retweeted tweet ever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Retweeted tweet ever. So. You know what? Wow. I think this just goes to show, I think, the power of when you make a game that is just fun and just brings people together. Yeah. I think, you know what? It is also, it's worthy saying that in the same way that Animal Crossing has had its cultural relevancy expanded and elongated. Is that a word? Elongated? Sure. Elongated. There you go. Elongated due to COVID. And I probably have to say that the coronavirus has probably made Fall Guys a game in which you can just play with your friends, laugh about stuff that really doesn't matter. It's not something as stressful as League or Valorant. Which, by the way, I can't even play Valorant with some of my friends because they're too good. Like, I am too bad to play with them.
You're the bad boy now.
And I know that I'm just dragging them down, and as much as they like me, no one wants to lose, right? So I just have to. No. Maybe we can play some Fall Guys. So. That being said, I still haven't even played it. All of this talk makes me want to try it today.
Yeah, it's like $15 or something. It's not bad.
It's fine. It's like it'll hold my attention, I'd say, for like maybe half hour to like an hour, but after that, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go play something else.
Yeah, it's kind of where I was when I sat down and played it for the first time.
Yeah. It's definitely not me playing for an extended period of time.
So if I can say though, I think I am addicted to Super Smash Bros. Melee, because in talking about games you can play for a certain extended time, last night I started playing Melee at 7 p.m. because I finished work. I was like, okay, like time to play. And I had sat out food. Like I was like going to cook. I was going to make myself some food. And then I play like Melee. I like look around. I haven't eaten. The room is pitch dark. All the lights are off, and it's like 1 a.m. And I'm like, what happened? Like I just completely lost track of time. But man, I can play that game forever. Do you guys have a game that you can play that long and it just seems like time just melts away?
Most video games.
Most video games actually. For me, it's just Melee. Just Melee.
There's this game called Slipstream that I always end up going to, and it's just like a random game that I got through Humble Bundle, but it's got that it came out like 2018. It's like got that Cruisin' USA kind of gameplay to it.
Oh, nice
and
soundtrack.
It's all about just like drifting, and the soundtrack's like such a bop. Yeah, really calms me
so
down.
Good, man. I love to listen to like vaporwave, like remixes of that whole entire feel. Actually, another plug for invenglobal.culture, you can read one of my articles in which I attempt to recreate the aesthetic of my PC setup based off a song that I love called the Pacific Coast Highway. So I love the song so much, and I love the vibes and the feel. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to like embody that. So check out invenglobal.com/culture. Ooh, another plug. Love it. Love it. Anyways, let's get on to some more show notes. Oh, the Stanley Parable. Wait, they're coming out with a new version of that game? What?
It's like a definitive edition of it. I'm sure there's going to be some new content in there, but yeah. But that just got delayed indefinitely, apparently.
So have you ever played the Stanley Parable, Amanda? Because I know this one's this was like a weird cult classic type game, right?
No, I'm pretty sure I own it in some bundle that I've bought, but
it's one of those.
I haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
It's definitely one of those games where like, we all like you own it because it's so popular and in all those bundles.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
Eric,
it was a little too cheeky for my taste.
Can you explain the Stanley Parable to anyone who may not know what we're even talking about with this definitive edition coming out?
It's just one of those games that you know, when you really take a look at it, you're basically just like walking around doing stuff. You're not even like solving puzzles or anything. It's all about the narrative just kind of messing with you at every turn in interesting ways that only like a game could do.
Yeah, it's like a meta game. It's like a game that's enjoyment comes from the fact that it knows you're a gamer. It knows that it's a video game made by game developers. It's very aware of all of this, and it's constantly one step ahead of you. Because it knows, as gamers, you're trying to, like, get one step ahead of it. It's a really interesting game.
Like, I think a trophy just unlocked, like, earlier this year or something that you can only get by not playing the game for, like, 3 years or something.
So it's much longer than that, actually. It's much longer than that. Like, I think there's this trophy if you don't play the game for, like, I think it's 10 years, right? Like, isn't it something crazy long like that?
I don't think it's been out for 10 years is the thing. Maybe, like, 5 years.
If only we did any amount of research for the show, then we would know when the Stanley Parable was. But anyways, it's apparently not going to be released soon because, once again, these slew of games that are being delayed, there's just more and more and more.
And I'm not even mad about it. Like, I know that it's a bummer for a lot of these titles. I mean, Cyberpunk, I'm looking at you. That is the game I am so excited about. But, I mean, I feel like that's just the nature of the beast, and it just gives us so much more to look forward to in 2021. And as a philosophy that I've had even prior to quarantine, I'd rather the devs just take the time they want to make the best game possible than trying to rush something out and then have it be a letdown. You know,
I'm usually on that side of the coin, but like for something like Psychonauts 2 that I've been they went up on like Fig like in 2015 to back that game with like a 2017 release window, and it was just like Double Fine, like that's the only game that they're working on, like as far as I'm concerned, but they just keep pushing it back like year after year, and I'm like, at some point, it's like, all right, maybe you should really...
Yeah, the crowdfunding thing adds a certain level of kind of complexity to it. Like, if you owe it to your crowdsourced, your backers,
Yeah.
then that opens up a different conversation.
Yeah.
So, Mandy,
And we got.
would you say that you're of the belief that you should finish a game when it's done? Like that a game developer should follow that philosophy?
What do you mean finish a game when it's done?
So here's the thing. I was trying to somehow lead in a way in which I could shit talk Blizzard because it's a running theme in which that I do every single time on this podcast. And famously, that used to be their philosophy, like when it's done, right? Like so it used. And the thing is, that was something that I was also like, I loved Blizzard about that. And then it's like they completely shelved that. They don't do that anymore. They seem to just put out games when they're unfinished and horrible. At least that was the case with Warcraft Reforged, and I was hurt by it permanently. So I know that you're also like a Blizzard fan, right? Like we're both.
Yes.
Like we're both huge Blizzard fanboys.
It's been a Blizzard philosophy. It's always been like Blizzard time.
Yeah.
That it's like the games come out when Blizzard says they come out, and other factors have reared their head now that I think are just changing the way Blizzard operates and the way Blizzard produces games. I, for one, don't think we need an Overwatch 2 right now, but I think I'm the minority in that. I think Overwatch 1 right now is fine.
Yeah.
And anything that I've seen, that I've heard from Overwatch 2 just feels like it could be just add-on to
100%.
Overwatch.
100%.
And I'm not
understanding
what we're
have there
actually
been
getting.
any updates since BlizzCon last year? Like
No.
nothing, right? Like didn't Jeff Kaplan get on stage like a minute after the announcement and people were asking him questions? He's like, yeah, no idea. No clue.
I still like don't fully understand what Overwatch 2 is besides some new skins and like
it feels like a DLC.
Mode.
It just feels like a little oomph. It doesn't feel like it needs this whole entire new iteration of the game. To me, a second iteration of the game is like, we're going to overhaul this entire system and all this stuff is going to change and we're going to add all these features. And
so I just went on their site, and you can see on the stream, they have team versus team, co-op missions, new look. So just the things they're showing off the most is that they have co-op missions and a new look. Yeah, that doesn't really seem like Overwatch 2. That seems like Overwatch June update, summer update. Congratulations,
Especially when you see like how they've kind of treated these seasonal events up until now, where it's basically just doing the same thing over and over and over again, like the Halloween event and stuff. Like I feel like they could have used those opportunities to kind of sneak in the like single player stuff that they're really pushing.
I have to do Junkenstein one more time.
We want to talk about grinding. That was a grind.
Yeah, that's the grind for sure. That is definitely great. But I agree with you, Eric. Like that was the perfect opportunity to add in like some more lore, some different co-op experiences.
But someone was behind the scenes being like, oh, just wait. We take everything that you guys want to develop and roll it into like Overwatch 2 or whatever. So it's not cool.
I mean, for me, Overwatch, the original Overwatch, is just at this point, games as a service. Like I know that the game costs money, but I would just be willing to pump more money into Overwatch if they're telling me, oh, you can buy this skin pack or you can buy this pack for $19.99 that includes a co-op mission pack. I would 100% pay for those things. I would pay for a battle pass for Overwatch, like without question. I would buy that, but. Instead, they have this really wonky, weird skin system to get stuff in the game that makes no sense to me. And now we're getting Overwatch 2.
So bizarre.
It's interesting that you say that, Mandy, because I don't know, something about the way you worded it made me realize one of the gripes I have with the way that developers like fix their game. So we were just talking about the Stanley Parable, right? And I was all excited because I thought it was a new game, and then Eric corrected me. No, it's actually the definitive edition. And I just want to say right now, I'm on the record. I hate the definitive editions. Like I hate that concept because I've been burned by it now twice. I buy a game, and because I'm a boomer, I'm like late to the party. So when I wanted to play a Dragon Quest, the new one, I bought it probably, I don't know, after it was like released for like a year. And then in the middle of me playing it, they release a definitive, like version. and it's like way better. There's all these extra things, and here I am left with my janky version of the game that like I still paid full price for it, and just because I didn't get around to beating it quick enough, I guess. And it's just so strange because it seems to me like why don't, and thing is the same thing happened too with Divinity 2, which is like another game I loved, and then they came out with this definitive edition, and then I somehow felt lesser because I was stuck playing the lame version. I don't want to buy a whole brand new game just for, I don't know, little tweaks and fixes. It seems like a patch. It seems like things that you should be able to buy as an upgrade, because I would love to, as Mandy said, just upgrade it. Just charge me $10 and I would, gladly do it. But a whole new game and calling it definitive, I don't know. It's just weak to me.
That was kind of the argument against Persona 5 Royal when it came out. Was like, what do you really add into the game to make it like worth like another $60 on top of this? Like I paid for it because that base game is super good, and like the stuff that they did add was like story sensitive, so it wouldn't really make sense for them to like tack it on like anywhere. But
So wait. Are you saying you bought Persona 5, you played through it, you had this whole experience, and then they released Royale, which was another like $50 to $60, and the same base game with just some new content?
It was more than that, where they like changed up the battle system pretty considerably too.
And you bought this game, Eric?
Oh, I bought the collector's edition of that game. It was like $80. So it's like
Eric is such a whale, man. You're such a whale when it comes to games you love.
They wouldn't release these editions, these definitive editions or expanded, whatever wording they use, if people didn't buy them. Eric is a perfect example. I'm sorry to call you out, Eric. I'm not calling you. I'm totally not the same thing.
I feel like definitive editions have their place too, besides like the hardcore fans that are just, willing to buy them again.
But it's 2020. Just patch your game. Just update your game.
It's also a good selling point for people that are like brand new to the game too.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
I just got into Hitman this year, and I've become like a huge fan. And part of that was because I got Hitman 2, which if you had the like first game, which I had just like sitting around from like a bundle or something, but I'm like, they unlock like all the levels in the second game if you have the first game installed. So I was able to play through all the content through 1 and 2 in like this like thing, and it also came with like all the DLC stuff. So I just had like 2.5 games worth of content to burn through, and I was like, I much prefer that than just kind of like going through the first game, the second game separately, and waiting for that.
For some reason, no, please, Mandy. I was going to talk about something so random and dumb. I want you to instead.
Save us, Mandy.
I think we have to realize too. Okay, this is gonna get deep, but the cost of making games has increased exponentially over the years. Just like from if we're just talking like NES, the games cost the same price. They're still $50 to $60.
Yeah.
Production costs and expectations from gamers have just gone. So
you're so right.
DLCs, releasing definitive editions, whatever you want to call them, is a way for devs and publishers to recoup all these additional costs now that they're having to eat because they're not making their money back necessarily over selling the game for $60 a pop. They're probably making off this all ancillary content that comes out, down the road.
I just did a Google search that says the range of a AAA game usually ranges from about $15 to $150 million. So
that's insane.
And it's laughable to think that like I paid full price for Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. Can you imagine if it took $150 million to make Donkey Kong Country?
Right? It should be, because it is the greatest game of all time.
And that's the thing though. Like it is. And it's so funny though to think that like, yes, you're so right, Mandy. The cost of games have increased so much. But I don't actually think games have gotten that much better, like as a cost to what you gain, like ratio. Like Banjo-Kazooie is still just, I don't know, for the 64, maybe one of like the best 3D platformers ever. Like, can you really say? I guess maybe Super Mario, the Galaxy games are good too. But like, if they were to just like,
did you pay for like would you pay for Crash again? or Banjo-Kazooie again?
So yes, if they do the graphics update like they did with Crash Bandicoot, I absolutely love when they.
So how is that different from a
remix it.
definitive edition?
So okay, and I'm glad that you said that because the definitive edition is the same game, but they do all of these quality of life things, and it's like, bro, you literally released this game 2 years ago. I'm not missing this, right? Like I'm literally
like
just played this game. It's completely different if someone offered me a complete next-gen version of Banjo-Kazooie where I'm not playing on an N64 controller. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. I would love to be playing that. I would buy that immediately.
It's gotten so weird with like definitive editions and like remakes and stuff. Like the Shadow of the Colossus game that came out, like the remake that came out 2 years ago. I mean, that was like copy and paste, like the same exact gameplay. Like they added like nothing to that game, but they made it look like amazing. Like, do you think that's worth the like buying the game again for like the $60 price tag?
I don't know, and I'll even complicate it further and look at Skyrim. And how many times they have re-released and released Skyrim, and they can basically play on any console now. But I totally know people that bought it when it came out on the Switch, even though it's been out on everything since then, because they wanted to play it on Switch.
Same thing with Diablo 3. I feel as if, it's that there were so many people who bought it on Switch and they like loved it, but it's like you just paid $60 to be able to sit down on your couch. Like that's really what you did. You paid because I don't want to sit on my PC anymore.
Maybe.
Yeah, I suppose that is true.
I bought Enter the Gungeon 3 separate times for Switch, PS4, and PC.
No. Why would you buy a game for the PS4, Switch, and PC? Eric, that is unacceptable.
I started on that's good. I started on the PS4 and then I was like, I can have this on the go. I'll buy it on the Switch, and then I'm like, I'm really only playing stuff on my PC now, so I might as well do that too.
Eric, you're like this baller. You just buy any game you want. It's dope.
I always pick them up on sale after the first. I can't justify buying like a $6 game that I have again for $60. Like Devil May Cry 5 I had on PS4 and I wanted to play it on PC because of like mods and stuff, but I waited until it was like $15 or something, so.
By the way, speaking of things that will not be $15, that was not bad. Apparently, Sony says that the PS5 has the best lineup in PlayStation history, which is like, that's tough to say.
So this kind of ties into the story with like all these games being delayed and stuff. Yeah. Is like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting that they would say that, and the fact that they really haven't given us like they haven't given us a price on this, they haven't given us a release date. Like so much can happen between now and November, with like games being delayed and stuff like that.
It does make me really nervous in terms of, not me personally nervous. I just think it's making Sony nervous because I'm sure they have revenue they need to recognize, like for holiday 2020.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder if because we haven't gotten information about pricing and a release yet, they are considering pushing it to 2021 or another time when people are more inclined to spend big bucks, because I think we can safely assume this console is probably going to be around $500 or more. And people are unemployed right now. They're just trying to save their pennies and pay rent and like live. So is spending $500 on a brand new video game console a priority for them? Probably not.
I mean, if Microsoft is gung-ho about, launching their Xbox without Halo Infinite, like what the fuck?
I don't understand that one. That one.
Like if that could happen, like anything can happen. Like,
that is wild. I am Microsoft. You cannot launch the new Xbox without Master Chief. Like it just.
I mean, that is as bad as Nintendo releasing a new Switch or like releasing a new console without a Mario game, right? Like I'm pretty sure it's
a Mario game like announced, I guess, but like.
Or like not having it with it on launch.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's a huge, huge misstep. And I think Xbox is playing it like we're waiting to see what Sony does before we react. And I think that's why we haven't gotten information from Xbox. But I don't think it's the other way around. I think Sony's just trying to gauge like the economy. I don't.
And by the way, chat is talking about a stimulus checks. They're going to use their stimulus checks to buy the new console.
If we get another one, who knows?
I mean, not
the
bad,
whole check will have to go to the console.
Yeah.
But this is another thing where it's like, obviously put out your game when you think it's, you know, ready and it's finished and stuff. But also Halo 5 came out in 2015, and there hasn't been a mainstay like Halo game. Like obviously, if Halo Infinite is like a big like increase in the scope of what they're trying to do, but also you should probably have it ready. You know, if Microsoft says that they're going to launch a console in 2020, like I'm sure like the amount of money that Microsoft put behind that game, like you really need to, you know, push that out the door.
And frankly, I couldn't even tell you another Xbox exclusive.
There's
like
I mean, at this
Fable,
point, it doesn't
right?
even exist because.
But wasn't Fable?
It's gonna be.
Low.
Yeah, it's gonna be on PC. The multiplayer component is gonna be free, like absolutely free. So.
I mean, same argument for what isn't Sea of Thieves? That's Microsoft exclusive as well.
Yeah, but it's on PC. It's on Steam now. Even, so.
But my point being is that exclusives sell consoles.
Yep.
And
Yes,
Xbox without Master Chief, who is the like picturesque like poster boy for Microsoft and Xbox, without it, I'm like, why is not going to be a good holiday for you?
And the thing is too, like, I feel as if the PlayStation has kind of, for the past couple years, been slowly like eking ahead. I just think, you know, personally, in terms of like the games they put out, like the games, people always say that, like, it doesn't matter if the Xbox is more powerful or more useful, the PlayStation just has better games. And I feel as if this may be the final end of the console wars. This could be it. I think I'm
gone for a while personally.
Oh, really?
I don't even think the console war exists personally. I think that it's something that's built by the media and the fans to just stir up like arguments
in 2020
and
still
silliness.
talking about.
But yeah, I will applaud like Microsoft for, you know, getting so ahead of everybody on this Game Pass, you know, thing, because it's really keeping them afloat. Because I'm sure that, you know, you might not look at the Xbox and be like, oh, I'm going to get the best games playing this, but you might be looking at it as a parent for like a kid who doesn't necessarily care, you know, their attention spans are so like limited, you know, they want to play as many games as possible, and you know, Xbox will, you know, entertain that with Game Pass. You know, you pay like $10 a month or something and you get like an entire library. Like, I mean, that's really an attractive offer too. So
it is.
Well, yeah, all three game companies are in such like diverse lanes now that it's exactly what Mandy said. It's just like, it's not even a war now. It's just, you know, everyone going.
Like, I don't even think Nintendo lives in like, when we talk about the consoles, like Nintendo's just over here on their own island and they're not even participating in anything that Sony and Xbox are doing. You know what I mean? Like they go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Mandy.
Go ahead.
I mean, they're not really participating in anything nowadays. Like,
I mean, they just kind of operate like, we're just gonna make these games and we'll kind of call them video games, but they're more like entertainment for like family and being together. And like, there's like this whole way that they approach development over the way I think Sony and Xbox and any other game manufacturers, you know.
Who here has played Ring Fit Adventure? Right? Because that's the perfect example of it. You know, like Nintendo's out here trying to make sure we're all healthy and happy, making us work out at home. You know, like what other game company is even in that a mindset? It's completely different.
I had a Connect for a little while before I punched the ceiling.
You had a Connect?
I had a Connect.
Okay, now, but did you have, what was it, a PlayStation? What was that book?
Move?
No.
The Move.
What was that book? Don't you guys remember that wand in that book? That it was so weird.
Yeah. Had little balls on the controller.
No.
Yeah, that's a PlayStation Move.
No, but there was this one. It's the most obscure E3 fail ever. It was this horrible book, and I think it was Sony, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that actually ever came out.
I don't think it did. I think it was mocked so bad. They just forget
it's
about
always
it.
those like top 10 E3 fail presentation videos,
and and I love watching those E3 fail compilations,
with,
by the way.
Nintendo Music and the Connectimals stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I can't believe it's almost already been an hour.
Yep.
We are up to the wind up. We are winding down of our show. And speaking of fails, Mandy, on this show, we like to do a little wins and fails. We like to talk about things you like, things you don't like. And I'm going to start because we were just talking about E3 fails. My fail this week is this horrendous tweet that E3 put out. It's a great list of games women gamers are playing. Any of your favorites make the cut? It's like, first of all, there's so many reasons as to why this was bad. For one, this isn't even E3. This is sponsored content by Parade.com. So if any of you want some insight on how, the industry works, E3 obviously has a big social media. They have a big thing. People pay them to retweet and post their articles, right? And I promise you, I guarantee you, who's ever in charge of sponsored content, they're not reading these articles. They're not reading the tweets. It's just, this was either the most tone-deaf tweet by E3 or just a mark of them being extremely sloppy and not looking. So, long story short, this was a really stupid list of games that said, oh, here are the games that women gamers are playing. As if the entire, a community of women gamers who are playing the exact same games as anyone else, all the best games in the world right now, that's what they're playing.
It came from a place of a lot of ignorance and just
ignorance.
Clearly from us. I mean, Parade Magazine is not the source we think of when we think about being in tune with gamer culture.
Yeah.
There was a lot to unpack in that one tweet. It is now deleted. E3 has apologized, but it was overall a very awkward moment.
Wait, can I just read? The first sentence of the article is, gals love gaming just as much as men. Oh, really?
Rough.
Thanks,
Rough.
writer.
Rough. There.
Absolutely.
That was also, I love the quotes around heroes in Overwatch. I'm like, do you know what quotes means? When you put that around, where?
It's like putting the dash in between esports.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had the
so
same
this
reaction.
plumber named Super Mario, right? He's not actually that.
Heroes, I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, so that was my fail. I'd say that was a fail. And if I had to say a win, honestly, I would have to give it. And I know we already talked about it, but I love, in specificity, all of the esports teams who have been donating hundreds and thousands of dollars to get their skin into a Fall Guys. The win goes to the esports teams because part of kind of what I've been trying to work on for a long time now, invenglobal.com/culture, is that esports is so much bigger than just competitive gaming. Esports is this concept of taking games very seriously and having the discipline and the excellence to love those games. So I love to see esports teams branching out to games that don't have esports scenes, because I really do, truly do believe that think that esports culture is much bigger than that. So good for you, G2. Good for you, all of the other esports teams who are, not only getting some free publicity and hype, but also going towards a good cause. So Eric, do you have any wins and fails? I'm going to have Mandy go last, so she has. Don't put her on the hot spot, but you're last.
This might tie into Mandy's win or fail, because I have a question for Mandy that I forgot to ask when you were going over the games you were playing. Have you picked up Fast and the Furious Crossroads yet?
Oh my god, that game looks like funk.
It looks so bad.
It looks so bad. So bad.
Fast and the Furious
I
Crossroads.
feel like they just went to a 3D model website and just bought models of
Vin
the car.
Diesel? Yeah.
So
Oh my
weird.
goodness. Yeah.
No.
It's
My
not bad,
favorite
huh?
excerpt from a review was there is a mission where you have to stealth behind a car, and then a notification comes up that says ram the car. you have to ram a car without
With your body?
I think another car.
This
Oh,
looks
okay.
I mean, this kind of.
Oh, it does not look
something.
good. It looks like an old game from
Yeah.
maybe mid
It's
2000s.
Maybe early PS3 or something.
It's not good.
I have
'cause-
seen student games look much better than this, and that is not a knock on student games. There are some incredible students making games, but this doesn't look that good.
This was the showstopper at the Game Awards last year too.
Well,
This is the last thing that they showed, and Vin Diesel and drunk
Oh,
Drunk.
Michelle
Michelle
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
We play Tekken.
The series.
Well, you know what? It's funny because there's actually a historical precedent for Hollywood making bad games. I'm sure we're all familiar with the
The movie, the game.
What?
It's a game.
Really?
They made a video game based off the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, of course, yes. That is so funny. But yeah, you know what? This is Hollywood just doing its thing. You know, you take some IPs, take some celebrities, put them in a game. And you know what's the funniest part, Eric? I bet this game's going to sell very well.
No, it's not.
I think it will. No, I think it will. Think about it.
No.
You don't think that there's Fast and the Furious plays? Like, aren't you guys possibly like not taking into consideration how massive Fast and the Furious is as a franchise?
I am one of the biggest Fast and the Furious fans.
That's why I asked Mandy.
But you're also a hardcore gamer.
Game,
but that's the thing, you're also a gamer. Think about the Fast and the Furious fan who isn't a gamer, who like just sees this and say, "What? There's a Fast and the Furious game? Sign me up."
Nope.
I don't know. I think people are smart
okay.
enough consumers at this point to be like, oh, a $60 game. Let me look up a review of this game.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. You're
10,
right.
4 out of 10.
You're
3
right.
out of 10.
You're right. So
and then just another like pseudo fail, just coming off of like
2 fails.
Hitman. Yeah, just a Hitman fan. Hitman 3 was revealed today to be like a Epic Game exclusive, which I really don't have any problem with that, but they're also doing a VR component that's exclusive to PSVR.
Okay.
So I don't really get like, oh, I can get it on PC first or I can buy it on PSVR, but I can't like get the VR component and the PC component in the same thing.
Weird.
So the community is kind of like, what the fuck? You know, I was really looking forward to like both of these things. But
Hitman becomes a whodunit. That's interesting.
It's a smaller company, so I'm sure it's all about the money. But,
and Eric is now a huge Hitman stan, so
Hitman.
Yeah,
that's me with Far Cry. I am now a huge Far Cry stan.
Really?
I had never played a Far Cry, and then suddenly I started playing it. I was like, wait a minute, this is
good.
very underrated. This is very fun. Yeah.
Did you get into 3 first, or did you jump into 4?
I played New Dawn first.
Oh.
I totally didn't even do any order. I'm just like, okay, I'll play this one.
I was going to say, chat was brutal about that Fast and Furious game. Falkblad said he would not buy it for $1.
No, I would not buy that.
They would not buy it for $1. Dang.
Save
All right.
money.
All right, Mandy, you're up. Let's close this out. You got any wins and fails?
My win and my fail are in one and the same.
Oh, dynamic.
So Untitled Goose Game, 2 player, is my win. I am super hyped about 2 jerk geese. Geese. The goose.
Geese. It's geese.
That's not how that goes. But my fail is that it's local.
2 player. Oh yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't have friends here. Like I have to play.
Is that game on PC now? Through Steam?
I played it on PC, yeah.
Oh, okay. You can.
I can't remember now.
You can probably do it through like
Steam's
remote play or something. It
what
works like surprisingly well if you have like if the host has like a wired connection.
See, but that's not how games work. Any step, any extra thing that makes it harder to play with your friend means you're not going to play, right? If you have to go through this like rigmarole, I agree with this fail, because why would you release a game that doesn't have online, like, co-op? We're all quarantined. Yeah, we're quarantined. What am I going to do? Hey, guys, come on over and play Untitled Duke.
Piece of jerk goose with me.
Crazy.
But I do have one more win.
Oh, I like wins.
League of Legends announced KDA 2 today.
Oh,
okay, nice.
Really?
So
I did not know that.
We're doing a second KDA, which I am I don't know what it means. If we're getting another single, if we're getting more skins, I don't care. Inject it straight into my veins.
Nice.
How many views did that first video get? Like
100 over gazillion million.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. So you know what? That sounds like something that's going to be on Inven Culture, right? We got to get on it.
Yes.
Mandy, you're on it, man.
Right about it.
Mandy is going to be your number one source for all KDA stuff. I'm actually really happy to see that because, yeah, you know what? It's actually funny. I think KDA was really the first thing to make me open my eyes to just how much different esports can be. Like how much different the aesthetic can be, how much different the feel can be. Esports and games doesn't have to always be this like time warp 2010 smoke and land. Like no, we can actually inject all of the greatest parts of like popular culture and make it gaming. You know, like esports, but make it fashion, right? Absolutely love it. So with that said, this has been episode 29 of the Inven Global Podcast. Mandy, you have been such a gem. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. So much fun.
Talk about video games.
Yeah, well, guys, you can follow Mandy anywhere, literally anywhere, at Geeky Glamorous. So she has some amazing stuff. She has an amazing store. You see those earrings that she's wearing? Yeah. Guess who's responsible for them?
And thanks to all my peeps in chat, the Glam fam in chat. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, Glam fam. You know, we really appreciate it. You can follow me at Nick Durazio 3RD. We do this podcast every single week. Eric, where can they watch our past podcast episodes?
Oh, you can go to Inven Global on YouTube. We also have, you can just stay on Twitch and view our past broadcasts as well.
Yeah. You can also come into my home and watch me record the podcast live if you're so inclined and have the thieving skills to break into my home. So that's also an option, technically.
Yeah. We also have audio versions on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere where you get a podcast as well. So.
Oh, we're so pro now that sentence has been uttered. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Signing out.
Bye.